Which artist is squashing some beef?
And the moon is getting what?
Making Kent feel like Hollywood. This is The Blurb. Welcome back. I'm the Starman waiting in the sky, Rocco Grossi.
And I'm the ground control to your Major Tom, Nick Keller.
I love that. I love David Bowie.
That was a really clever review. Good job.
Thank you, thank you. Let's just jump right in. Well, One Direction's Louis Tomlinson and Harry Styles have had rumors of romantic relationships follow them their entire career, and now Louis Tomlinson is addressing those rumors. In an interview with Brazilian publication G1, Louis told them, quote, "What I realized a few years ago is that there's nothing I can do to stop those who believe this conspiracy. They are so connected to what they believe that they will not see the truth for what it is. I'm sure many people look at and find all these little conspiracies that happen in life interesting," unquote. And the singer then candidly admitted, quote, "I'd be lying if I said it didn't irritate me a little, but it's the nature of the job," unquote. Despite both Tomlinson and Styles having denied any rumors to that effect, the Larry theory snowballed into a phenomenon within the fan base, and to this day, some diehard fans stand by that pair having an illicit secret love affair.
The amount of fan art I've seen alone of just Louis and Harry.
I never want to see it. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, minions, tonight we steal the moon. The Defense Advanced Research Agency, or DARPA, has signed a contract with aerospace and defense technology company Northrop Grumman to begin preparations for a permanent human colony on the moon by beginning the early stages of a lunar railway concept. Aside from a space train's logistical value, they are a way of handling one of the moon's major problems, dust. Lunar dust is extremely abrasive and corrosive. Because of the complete lack of water, the static electricity of the dust makes it cling to spacesuits and equipment, making them not only grubby, but with a reduced service life. Traveling by train would greatly reduce contact between humans and dust as the former go from place to place. So I guess maybe sometime soon we'll all be living in our Star Trek fantasies faster than you can say, "Beam me up, Scotty."
Look, I'm just saying, if Wallace and Gromit can do it, anyone can.
Yeah, no, anybody
So, well, famous rapper J. Cole has officially backtracked his diss track titled 7-Minute Drill, which was targeted at Kendrick Lamar just days after releasing the track. This happened on Sunday night while J. Cole was giving a performance in North Carolina. The rapper described the song as the, quote, lamest, goofiest thing. J. Cole also stated he only released the song because the, quote, world wanted to see blood, even though he said he felt conflicted due to his respect for Lamar. Responses from other artists have varied, from criticizing Cole's statement to showing appreciation for him admitting his mistake.
That whole situation's crazy.
I think if you're going to release a diss track, you might as well just stand by it. You know?
Absolutely. Well, on more music news, Billie Eilish has officially announced on her Instagram that her third album will be coming out. The album is titled Hit Me Hard and Soft and will be released on May 17th of this year. Eilish also stated that she will not be releasing any singles leading up to the launch of the album. This is because she wants you to, quote, give it to you all at once, end quote. As of writing this article, not much information is known in terms of song count, but we here at The Blurb will make sure to keep you all updated as more information releases.
I do think it's interesting that, I'm not going to say much about it because I know Billy didn't want it, but Rolling Stone did leak the track list, which was...
Yeah, I know that she was not happy about it.
It was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well,
while on the topic of moons and Star Trek, have you ever noticed yourself listening to songs written for space? Because the people on our next block do. Stick around because up next, our cast is talking sci-fi soundtracks they love.
Well, howdy. What's the blurb without behind the blurb, you know? And I'm very excited for this one because we have a member who was initially an associate producer for the blurb, and while they're not on the show anymore, they still come back as an honorary guest. So everyone, please give a warm welcome to Fennel D.
Hi. Happy to be here, I think.
I mean, we're all very happy you're here as well, even though you don't have a full-time position anymore. When you do come back, you always make the blurb a great time, without a doubt. Even though you don't have a full-time position on the blurb anymore, what makes just the blurb in general just so fun to come back every once in a while?
So the main thing is that there's a lot of people on the blurb that I wouldn't get to see otherwise. Specifically, this one goes out to Jen. I love Jen. I always love seeing Jen. I love seeing everybody else, but I never get to see her unless I come to the blurb.
Right.
And I also, when I go to like if I go to like a different show, I usually have to like hang out in like the actual studio opposed to like the booth and sitting in the booth. I love all of our tech people. We don't like on the Blurb you don't see your tech people, but I love them each individually very deeply. So
Yeah. You know, shout outs to our production. Honestly, you guys are really are what makes this possible. Yeah. So with that in mind, keeping things on the realm of the Blurb, what is your favorite like Blurb memory or favorite just thing that has happened on the Blurb?
I'm trying to think. I always really love the senior goodbyes. I don't have like a specific one in mind, but every time I've done one since I've been coming, it's always something that I've really enjoyed because it's like the last hurrah with people that you really love. So I really, especially last semesters, there was a lot.
Dun 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 dun. We are going to talk about soundtracks, specifically sci-fi soundtracks. Okay.
That was great.
So yeah, we're talking about sci-fi soundtracks. Let's start with Star Wars.
It's good.
I think we killed it.
It's a great one.
Good luck, guys. Let's go.
Do you guys know that the soundtrack to Star Wars, like at least the original saga, was based around the Planet Suite by Gustav Holst?
I did not.
I did not either.
Yes.
Wow.
It is. If you have ever listened to it, you'll hear a lot of semblance to Star Wars, and I think that is really cool.
I like that.
As somebody who has not listened to The Planets or the Planets by Gustav Holst, I mean it feels like when you listen to John Williams' work that you don't really notice that there's like inspiration for it. It does. You can't really tell unless you've listened to it. But I mean, it's really cool to know.
Yeah. Shout out John Williams. He's really
You know,
cool.
I mean, I think The Planets was a great masterpiece and it really influenced a lot of things, like Cantina Band. You know.
Yeah, it definitely.
Cantina Band. No, it was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, they had a reference towards something with Cantina Band. There was like I forget what it was. It was I don't know where I was going out with that, but yeah.
You're good.
Cantina Band's a reference to something.
I also really like in Star Wars too the Duel of the Fates. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
That's a good one.
Doesn't it just not make you want to
Fight.
take out your plastic star
Lightsaber.
I couldn't. Plastic
Star
lightsaber and just go
saber.
zero.
I remember our high school's marching band played that.
Oh, really?
A couple of them. We had that one. First
cool.
It was really fun. Yeah.
I wish our marching band was that cool.
I wish our marching band was as cool.
So next one we're gonna talk about is E.T.
See, I don't
I never watched
particularly
E.T.
remember. You've never watched E.T.?
I feel terrible about saying that. I never watched E.T.
Really?
Never watched E.T. Yeah.
Rocco, have you watched E.T.?
I have watched E.T.
All right,
yes.
so
I very much don't remember the soundtrack as much. I barely remember. I think is the big one like when they're like flying into the sky. Is that kind of like
I would say so, yeah.
That's like the big popular one, I assume. I don't remember it off the top of my head as like one of like the ones that came to my head, but that would make sense.
Oh, those are spoilers. There's probably.
I mean, E.T. is an old movie, so
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, we're spoiling like a 40-something-year-old movie now at this point. I don't remember exactly what
Spoiler
year.
alert for 80s movies fans.
Who put Jurassic Park? That's not a.
I didn't.
I didn't
know.
I didn't put Jurassic
That's
Park
not
on
a sci-fi movie.
It is not.
We're gonna just go ahead and skip that one. How about Interstellar, guys?
Okay, here's the thing: is that when when we were creating this, I was going through it, and Interstellar wasn't even like we were like maybe 6 down before I saw Interstellar. That is like when you
little
think of
shocking.
sci-fi soundtracks, that is the soundtrack.
Yes.
It is. I mean, it's something that's so.
It's
Like something about Cornfield Chase in particular.
Oh my gosh.
It's because the style of the soundtrack to Interstellar is very minimalist, and so it's kind of I feel like it's a very good representation of like how almost like expansive space can really be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Cornfield Chase is really good. I can't remember exactly all the names of the songs that are in that movie.
There's just something so when you watch Interstellar and you listen to Hans Zimmer on the soundtrack, like specific like key moments that are like really emotional in that entire movie, you definitely feel the added emotion that's being driven from the movie.
And what's really nice about the Interstellar soundtrack is that it's one of those soundtracks where it's like you hear that piano riff and you can instantly tell what it is.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love that. I love having such, like, 'cause I hadn't seen the movie until like I think this year or last year. So like finally like kind of getting the connection between the song itself and the movie, it's like it takes the beauty that is that whole soundtrack and just kind of amplifies it.
I think like listening to the soundtrack specifically like towards the end, like when like everything like sort of wraps up and it's like you hear the monologue from the one person and it's just like that. It's so solemn, but it's so perfect almost.
Yeah.
Like it really adds to like the depth of the emotional level of Interstellar. And I know I said that, but it's like it's a great movie.
Yeah.
And it's only exemplified by the soundtrack itself.
While we're on the topic with that movie, I think it's a very similar one is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I've got some thoughts about 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Please
I'm not
shoot.
gonna lie, because I watched that movie about 2 years ago for a class. Oh my God, I did not like that movie. I should say I did not like the soundtrack to that movie. Especially the end of that movie. I'm not gonna spoil. What is? I got a very different opinion over here.
And the plot is awesome, and the movie's
Well,
awesome.
okay, I didn't say the plot was bad. I just said the soundtrack is bad.
The soundtrack rocks.
No.
Silence. It's mostly silence, which is awesome because he's alone in space.
You're telling me the last like 5 minutes of that movie is music to your ears?
I like the dissonance that goes
I have
with
that
it.
scene.
I did not. It sounds like absolute crap.
I love dissonance and like just like I love early 100 gex. I think new 100. That's how much I love like just like raspy soundcore. Like I listen to soundcore. Do you guys
You are
know that?
weird. Anyways,
Yo, Tron Legacy, anyone?
I did not watch Tron Legacy, unfortunately.
I do want to take note of that because of Daft Punk's being in it.
Oh,
So-
I do like Daft Punk.
Daft Punk's relatively it's good.
R.I.P. Daft Punk.
Well, they're not dead. They're
They're not dead, but they're not making music anymore.
Yeah, they're broken up.
Yeah.
not dead.
It's
Can't
just-
say R.I.P. to alive people.
Avatar.
Oh yes, the blue people.
The blue people, not the other Avatar. Guys, it was
James
I
Cameron.
unfortunately. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna-
I was just gonna say I just said James Cameron.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say.
Because it's been a while since I saw that Avatar, so I don't remember exactly.
Did you ever watch the second one?
No.
Wave Water? No.
Okay, so we're on the same page there.
Yeah. I did ride the ride at Disney. That was
And
pretty
how
fun.
was it?
It was good.
Was there a soundtrack?
There was some
Yeah,
music
there's
playing.
yes. No.
Was it iconic?
I mean, it was just like orchestral, like epic cinematic music. So,
Like, no.
Like Interstellar.
like Interstellar, guys, everything's just like Interstellar.
Everything's just like Interstellar. Pianos were actually made for Interstellar.
Cornfields were made
For
for
Interstellar.
Interstellar. Spaceships were made. Guess for what?
Cowboy Bebop, actually. Sorry.
Oh damn it. Okay.
Joe, you're a Cowboy Bebop fan.
Yes, I actually am a Cowboy Bebop fan. I thoroughly enjoyed Cowboy Bebop, not just for its storytelling, but of course for its music. And there's a lot. I mean, the opening title to Cowboy Bebop is one of the most well-known openings in all of anime, and it's so good. Like you can kind of just hear like why don't we get everybody in the show together? Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. And it's not only just like the intro too, but a lot of like the music itself is really good. I mean, it's incorporating a lot of jazz elements into the music itself, and there's just something so catchy about it. Like I would occasionally listening to the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack in my car.
Tank's really fun. I also really liked Waltz. It was one of your songs on the album.
Oh yeah.
It's like a space waltz. It's very pretty.
One of my favorite ones is it was the one with Jet Black. Jet Black, and also the one with remember when Ein is running through the city and it's that track playing. I love that track. That's one of my favorite tracks.
I love it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys, I haven't seen would be bummed.
We gotta really introduce you to more anime.
Yeah, we'll
dude.
play the live action one.
Yeah.
No!
Anyways, with that note, I think we're gonna maybe have to wrap this block up.
Ah, but I was just getting started. I love
know.
music.
I also like music. Interstellar was
I think we
made
should
for
have a whole
music.
show for music.
Let's just talk about Interstellar all day. But coming up, the cast will be diving into what's funny about space. I guess I don't know. You guys know anything about?
In space, no one can hear you scream, but they might just hear you laugh. Tonight we're discussing our favorite sci-fi and space-themed comedies. Okay, first one. Have you guys seen Galaxy Quest?
No, I haven't actually.
It's really funny. Basically, it's that it's Star Trek parody, and all the actors are washed up, and then they get transported to a real spaceship because these aliens have been receiving Earth television signals and think that this is a real story about these glorified heroes and stuff. Tim Allen stars in it. Alan Rickman's awesome in it.
Oh, Alan Rickman's in it?
Tony Shalhoub, the guy who plays Monk in Monk, is in it. It's really good. It's one of my favorite space comedies
I'll check it out.
of all time.
I'll check it out. I'm a big fan of Spaceballs.
I love Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
My roommate would not stop until I watched it. Like, he loves it so much, and I can see why. It's a really good comedy.
Yeah.
I think objectively people are quick to assume that it's just bad.
Yeah.
Just because when you first look at it, it's like, oh, that looks awful.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny.
It's got so many good quotes too. Ludicrous Speed.
I mean, Rick Moranis is in it. You can't go wrong with Rick Moranis.
Real SCTV stars.
Yeah.
John Candy is in it too.
Yeah, and John Candy.
And he's really good in any comedy. But I remember I used to comb the whole desert, and then they have the giant comb.
We ain't found shit. Yeah.
Okay, have you guys seen Muppets in Space?
Obviously, best Muppet movie.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, but it has a special place in my heart. I grew up watching it so much. Have you guys seen it?
I don't.
Muppets in
I mean,
Space.
I might have as a kid, but I don't.
It's where Gonzo
remember
gets
it.
messages from aliens.
Gonzo origin story.
The
I was-
opening. Oh, sorry, you go.
I was gonna say I've never been introduced to Muppets officially. My parents and I never watched Muppets, which I feel bad about.
This is a hate crime against everybody involved with the Blurb.
I might be going to jail for this, but yeah, no, I never really was introduced to Muppets. I can feel Jenica's presence.
Standing behind you, looming, ready to strangle.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Muppets in Space is pretty funny because the opening scene is a dramatic scene where Gonzo's trying to get onto the Ark and Noah won't let him, and then the flood starts happening.
Oh,
the
yeah, I
biblical
forgot
flood
about
starts
that.
happening, and Gonzo is stranded from God and feels betrayed, and then wakes up from his nightmare. And it's one of the funniest things because it's really dramatic. He's like, please, Noah, please let me on the Ark, please. And
Yeah.
Noah goes, no, and gives him a little umbrella that has a bunch of holes in it, and then the flood starts happening. And there's also funny ones throughout, they get invisible spray, and it's just Muppet shenanigans. And I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I like Muppets in Space a lot.
I should watch it. I should definitely.
The music in it is good.
I should definitely watch
It's
it.
weirdly copyrighted, so you're not gonna be able to stream it anywhere. So you'll have to
I have a DVD of it.
yeah.
I still.
That's where it's at. I love physical media. Anyway, Mars Attacks.
I have not seen this one, but I've
I like
seen
Mars
clips.
Attacks.
Never seen this one.
I like Mars Attacks. It's objectively a really bad movie.
Okay.
Like
However, I feel like it is in of itself sort of a cult classic.
Yeah.
It has its own it has a little sliver of the side of the world that's big fans of it. Cause it's just it's really bad CGI aliens just literally coming from Mars to kill everybody on Earth.
Don't they just end up shooting people? Isn't that just one of
That's
most of the-
essentially what the movie is just them shooting people.
This movie sounds great. I should watch this movie.
Yeah, they end up disintegrating a lot of people. I forget when it came out. 80s maybe? 90s?
I feel like I think 80s is too early.
Might have been.
Have you guys ever seen Starship Troopers?
A little bit.
I've seen a little bit of it, but I watched a tiny bit of it when I was.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Starship Troopers is awesome because it is a commentary on fascism and propaganda with the U.S. military.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because every few years, or honestly every few months, it comes back online where people misunderstand the message and think that it's like genuine. It's like, wow, being a Starship Trooper would be awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, this is the play on fascism. Right?
Yeah.
Which is funny enough because Helldivers 2 exists.
And Neil Patrick Harris, I remember, is pretty funny in it. And just like, it's a pretty good comedy. And I think what it's doing is like really interesting. Because I feel like with dramatic sci-fi movies, people tend to forget that the people they're watching are like horrible. Like Paul from Dune. Like,
Yeah.
war crime after war crime after war crime after genocide after like
Yeah, they try to paint the good guy, like they try to paint the actual bad guys as like the good guys here.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, we're doing this for democracy, but it's like, yeah, you're kind of like taking over planets like illegally.
My
Absurd.
allegiance is to the Republic. To
Democracy.
Sorry, I had to say that.
Okay, this one. Have you guys seen Third Rock from the Sun?
No, but I know that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in it.
It's him and
Is this a
John
movie or
Lithgow.
is this a show?
It's a show. It's like a 5-season sitcom. Basically, we're the third rock from the sun.
No way.
And
No way.
it's a whole family of aliens that come to Earth, and then they have to pretend to be humans. And it's pretty funny. It's acted really well, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt really shines. Like, he steals scenes.
Joseph
in it.
Gordon-Levitt. Oh my God. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is just awesome in anything. So.
But I definitely
I
would
hear his
recommend
name
it
and
if
I'm
you
like-
haven't seen it. I haven't rewatched it in a while, but it has a really good Christmas episode. Oh, okay. Have any of you guys seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I need to read the book. I have to read the book.
No, I have not seen this.
I
haven't seen it
want
either.
to read the book. I know nothing about it, and I want to read. I want to read it first and then watch the movie.
Oh, okay. I've seen parts of the movie. There are definitely some funny bits. I think it's really hard to like adapt literary humor, like how they use
Yeah, you're right.
in the Hitchhiker's Guide. But I think they do it pretty well, especially when he like makes the really weird drinks. I do like those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know Mystery Science Theater 3000. Is this technically a comedy?
Yeah, they commentate on like bad B movies, and it's a guy and
you're
robots
right.
and they're stuck in space.
Yeah, you're right. I like this one. I watched some old episodes, and then I also actually really like the Netflix reboot a lot. So,
Have you guys seen it?
No.
it's a good.
I have to watch more movies. I need to watch more movies.
Well, it's like
It's a
commentary.
series.
They're making fun of old movies.
It's like
So it's
almost
like
like
they
a,
go back and
it's almost like a
rewatch.
robot talk show essentially.
So it's it's basically comedy on.
Yeah, it's a peanut gallery. So they're just like commentating over the whole movie.
That's fair.
And there are some fake like ads they make that are pretty funny.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Asteroid City?
Not
Sounds
yet.
interesting, but what is it?
It's
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson's.
I enjoy Wes Anderson's work. I've never watched Asteroid City. I know it's.
You should.
I've heard it's good, but yeah.
It's really good. There's I don't want to spoil too much, but I mean it's all about. They live in this town where obviously there's like a crater from an asteroid,
Yeah.
and at
The
one
music
point,
in that one is good.
yeah, there's this little. I don't know if he's claymation, but he is animated. This little like black alien guy comes out of the asteroid at one point, and he's so funny. He's just a little guy, like he doesn't do much.
Yeah.
He's just there.
I mean,
Do you two have like a favorite like sci-fi comedy?
Oh, Spaceballs for sure for me.
you could say Futurama.
Oh my god.
We never
Oh, I
really
didn't even
mentioned.
think about that.
We never really mentioned Futurama, actually. If you think about it, I mean, it's kind of it's literally it's the pinnacle of sci-fi. If you think about it, okay, maybe not the pinnacle, but you get the point. But I feel like I think we overshadowed that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Futurama's really good,
It's really good.
Yep.
especially early Futurama. In the next block, we will boldly go where many fans have gone before as we debate what the top intergalactic franchise is. Stay tuned.
Debates. You may have heard of those. Battle Royales. Maybe you heard of them as well. Now, of course, I'm not talking about cranking 90s in Tomato Town. I'm talking about taking 3 of the biggest sci-fi Goliaths in entertainment history and pitting their loyal fan bases against each other. That's right, we're having a 3-way debate between Star Wars, Dune, and Star Trek. Representatives for each franchise will give their argument as to why it is superior. We have Nick siding with Star Trek, Zach and Peter siding with Star Wars, and Fennel siding with Dune. So folks, I want a nice, clean debate for the superior sci-fi franchise. First up is Nick defending Star Trek. Give your case.
We ball team Star
We
Trek.
got 2 minutes.
So really quick, I just want to say I do love all of these franchises as mediums individually, but I have a job to do. So we're here defending Star Trek. How many of you guys have seen J.J. Abrams' Star Trek trilogy? Because I think it is truly. Wow, who made that picture? Anyway. I don't know who's seen J.J. Abrams' Star Trek trilogy with like Chris Pine and all that, but I'm a big fan of those, and I think that it's very good. And it kind of, especially in Into Darkness, I read a video essay, or I didn't read a video essay. I watched a video essay recently about like, in like disaster scenarios today, they'll like be like, oh, we evacuated the whole city before this giant spaceship crashes into it. No, Into Darkness crashes a spaceship into a group of people. And it's just truly like, everything about it is everything you could ask for in like a big space battle movie type of thing. And also, The Next Generation with Patrick Stewart was, I think, probably one of the best television series of the time that it was around. I think it fully encapsulates everything that the original Star Trek set up while also doing something incredibly brand new. But speaking of the original Star Trek, you can't go wrong with it. I mean, it set up so many new, I guess, I don't want to say stereotypes for sci-fi, but it set up so many new standards, I guess. I mean, we wouldn't have as iconic of quotes as we had as "Beam me up, Scotty," and that's all I can think of right now. But there was the one episode I remember, and it deals with a lot of like, Star Trek was known for dealing with a lot of very real issues.
All right, Nick, thank you for your case on Star Trek. Up next, Peter and Zach, I want you two to give your argument for Star Wars. Starting now.
So I think easily the best thing to start with is Darth Vader, right?
Yes.
So, Darth Vader, easily one of the most iconic villains. What is what? Oh my god.
What is this?
Okay.
All right, keep going.
These are phenomenal pictures. But
Anyway,
Keep going,
Darth
keep
Vader
going,
is like
please.
one of the most iconic villains in cinema, and let alone like one of the best characters in all fiction. There's also lightsaber duels.
lightsaber duels easily one of the coolest parts of Star Wars, and I feel like you can't really say that a lot of the fights in Dune and Star Trek are like the level of Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Like the emotional impact, the sheer just like coolness of that fight was just incredible. And
Yes.
I think it's the longest sword fight in cinematic history, at least it was when it came out. I'm not sure about that one, but the music,
Perfection.
The music is phenomenal. Like, I don't think
John Williams. You can't go wrong
you
with
can't
John
go wrong with
Williams.
John Williams.
Never.
What else did we have? We had Luke Skywalker. Kind of kickstarted the whole hero's journey thing in cinema. Like, I couldn't honestly think of one before that, or really one that's like that good. Like, A New Hope is like phenomenal, man.
Same here.
What else do you?
Let's see,
Anything to add?
Let's see. Story-wise, like there's like one saga, and then like from there, like it's just been like one story, and now there's just like, you know, other stories like being made. Also, speaking of stories, Clone Wars. Clone Wars is like one of the best shows in Star Wars, and let alone it has like one of the best stories in Star Wars.
Yeah, and there's a few great fights, especially in that show. Like, off the top of my head, there's an Darth Maul versus Ahsoka fight. There's a few other really good ones. Like, there's a bunch with.
Well, as much as we like to hear about those, that is the end of your case. Now, Fennel, I would like for you to give your take on Dune and put it against Star Wars and Star Trek.
Okay, thank you, Coleman. So first off, I would like to start off with the inception of the sci-fi genre, which started off with the Time Machine in 1895. I'm not going to look at that so that I can keep talking. So that was where the inception of the sci-fi genre started as a medium. And then in 1965, which I would like to add predates both Star Trek and Star Wars, it was awarded the Hugo Award for Best Novel. Actually, it tied for that. And then it was awarded the inaugural Nebula Award for Best Novel in 1966. Dune is not just the first book of Dune, which is actually a collection of 3 books that were originally a separate trilogy but have now been combined into one overarching book. It is also Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, Heretics of Dune, and Chapter House Dune, which Dune is the most expansive sci-fi story that we have. It spans over 10,000 years from the start of the beginning of the book, which actually begins in Rome. The beginning of the Atreides bloodline starts in Rome. And it ends almost 10,000 years in the future, making it the largest and most expansive series in existence currently. I already brought this up, but the first Dune book came out in 1965, and Episode 4, A New Hope of Star Trek came out in 1977. And then also, the original Star Trek only came out a year after the first Dune book in 1966. And there is a lot of evidence that Star Trek, and not a Star Trek, a lot of most of what people love about Star Wars was directly lifted from Dune. Your main character lives on a desert planet. There is a tyrannical emperor overlord that controls trade and life throughout the galaxy, and we are fighting against that. What about that does not directly describe everything that happens in Star Wars? But I digress.
All three groups. Make your cases. Like argue it out. Any counterpoints you want to give to each other.
Okay, really quick, I would like to say, Fennel, I do agree with you because I think that everything relating to modern sci-fi now, it goes all the way back to Dune. I do not disagree with you there at all.
Here comes the butt.
However,
that's similar.
Before Coleman cut me off,
Darling, you had 2 minutes. He didn't cut you off.
We had to keep
no,
along
I'm kidding.
with the debate.
What I was going to say was Star Trek, even back with the original series, it dealt with a lot of very real, very current issues. Like there was an episode where they were trying to teach, I don't remember if he was like an alien or if he was like a clone or something, but he was this guy who was like, who didn't really know like that you're not supposed to, whatever, like touch women in a certain way and like treat women a certain way, and they're like basically just, they're teaching him about how to be respectful of people and just like a really important subject for a sci-fi show to cover.
Fennel, you want to say something?
Yeah, I would like to say that I do agree with you that Star Trek is probably the most influential, one of the most influential sci-fi genres currently, especially because it did have the first interracial kiss, which was between Uhura and Captain Kirk, and it also covered things such as racism, sexism, politics, homelessness. But I would like to say that my total opinion on this debate that we're having is that Star Trek does not actually fit in with Star Wars and Dune, because Dune and Star Wars both follow the hero's journey, and Star Trek is a serialized show that is covering different things over longer periods of time. Although there are consistent threads, especially in Deep Space Nine, that follow through the experience of tyrannical overlord who is trying to control everything. The main point of Dune and Star Wars is that we are following a hero through the hero's journey, whether or not we like that hero or not, and Star Trek does not compare to that.
I gotta say, I think Star Wars easily has the best characters, and I don't know, like you guys are free to argue with this, but like Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Leia, definitely some of the most iconic stuff too. And I don't think that a villain can really...
Zach, I'm loving what you're saying, and let's be real. Everybody made great arguments. All of them are great series, but if I had to pick one, I'm gonna have to give it to Dune. I'm gonna have to give it to Fennel and their case with Dune. Like you just laid that down very professionally. I think that you put it all very professionally, and you even got Nick to straight up agree with you in the start of his counterpoint. So, Fennel, it's clear that I believe you won this. So, but here's the thing, we could honestly talk about this debate all day, but if we do, it may eclipse into our Eclipse reminiscence. So after the break, the cast will be discussing the Eclipse and various media adaptations of it.
Whoa, is that the eclipse? No, just the studio lights. Welcome back. If you're one of the lucky people who experienced the solar eclipse yesterday, you know these things hold a mystical elusiveness behind them. So today, we're going to be discussing some eclipses in media. First of all, did anyone not see the eclipse? We're all on the same page? Did you not, right? One of us?
I saw it. I almost cried.
Did you really?
Oh, did you?
It was beautiful.
Did you guys see the one in 2017? Just so you're curious.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good. Though.
Yeah,
This
I
one
mean-
was incredible.
This one was gorgeous. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just
I was
absolutely.
at school the other time. So.
Yeah.
Me
yep.
too.
Yeah. Let's just jump right in, guys. You know.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
I would like to give a quick shout out to one of the best series ever, Twilight. Specifically, Twilight Eclipse. Love it. Good movie. Good title.
I think the second one's the best one.
That's good. That's objective. They go to Italy.
That's true.
Who couldn't hate it?
What about
Yes.
none of them like?
You would be incorrect.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. We all have them at times.
Yeah. I'll try to do better next time.
Good.
Yeah.
I think one of the most famous ones that I know, at least, would be Little Shop of Horrors. I feel like we're all kind of on the same page with that. Just it's kind of like how the plot line begins. It's the very first song, stuff like that. So,
Well,
was it not the first song?
isn't Skid Row first?
Is Skid Row first song? Thank you. She's got it.
I've seen this movie the normal amount of times.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever you think the normal amount is to watch Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis. I think
There is no
that
limit.
it's an awesome movie. I think the eclipse in that is really interesting. I think like outside of Eclipse, out of the ones that I know, other than the next thing we're talking about, it might be the best thing with an eclipse in it. Just the puppetry in
She said it.
like the puppetry is so good,
Yeah.
and then the music is good. You'll listen to that for like days after. I love Little Shop of Horrors.
It's a good one. I love it. Let's just
Definitely iconic.
right. Well, we hope the Fire Nation was watching their backs yesterday because Avatar. Last year, Bender. How do we feel? Eclipses. Do it.
I think he should have killed the guy, the Fire Lord. I think
Yeah.
that it's just that's not how that works. I mean, he's a genocidal colonizer. I'm sorry. It's cool that Aang is like vegetarian or vegan or whatever, and is like doesn't want to hurt people or whatever. But when all is said and done, it's the Fire Lord.
For someone who hasn't finished Avatar, he doesn't kill people because he's vegan? Is he not going to eat them? Wait, I don't get it.
Wait, isn't it like a
Well,
thing that he does?
vegans don't eat people
Oh,
generally.
I just mean, like because you don't, because murderers. If you're vegan, you're less likely to be a murderer.
I would guess.
Can we fact check that?
But I'm
We'll
just
Google
saying,
it.
isn't that like a Aang thing that he doesn't kill people?
That's nice.
It's a monk thing. It's a monk thing.
It's a monk
Oh.
thing.
Is it?
He's
Real.
sworn to non-violence because he is a monk.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
That's
Hey, what?
So it's not because he's vegan.
How did it work out for the monks?
Oh, it could be also vegan.
But Yang Chen is an exception.
How did it work out for the monks?
I want to know
That's so
too.
Sorry,
Oh,
Probably
I'm just
are.
saying.
ooh, too soon.
Sworn to nonviolence. Wow, that so many of them are left.
Oh.
So how about Dune 2, anyone, huh?
Never gonna look
How
at
are we,
Avatar
how are
the
we
same.
feeling about Dune 2 with that solar eclipse on that moon? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not as cool as the one we saw.
Yeah.
I think out of all of the lists we have, I think this eclipse is like the least important and or
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
because it's integral to the plot in Avatar. It's integral to the plot in Little Shop of Horrors, and then also it is very important in setting the mood and setting the tone for 2001: A Space Odyssey,
Yeah.
which also opens with an eclipse. And I think that is a really interesting callback to, like I think Dune 2 did it to call back on 2001: A Space Odyssey because that is like a quintessential sci-fi movie.
I agree. That's the thing is that like a lot of movies and TV shows and even songs, they bring up the eclipse, but it's hard to just like kind of like narrow it down. I think like a lot of these movies, it's like it's nice that they have that like essentialness to the eclipse, where it's like you have these songs and the shows and right and like Dune, where it's like they have it, but is it anything? You know, it's a very special event. And I think to have something like that portrayed in media, it's an important piece that should be kind of a center.
Definitely.
It doesn't happen often.
Definitely. We'll see you guys in 2099 for the next one in Ohio.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this week's episode of The Blurb for tonight. Be sure to follow us on all the socials at TV2 The Blurb, and tune in every Tuesday at 9 for all the celebrity. I'm Rocco Grassi, and from our studio to your couch, thank you and good night.